Hi again, I'm Stephen Wessner, CEO of Predictive ROI. Thanks for coming back for this video. And I've been absent on YouTube and our blog with video content for a little while, all on purpose. And the reason why is because I've been in the trenches even more often with business owners, both daily phone calls and emails and so forth. And our team has really tried to double down on sharing resources and try to be even more helpful as we're going through COVID-19, just like everybody else, sharing resources around PPP and other special loan programs and just trying to do everything we possibly can, whether that's really deep dives into research and how to come out of the recession, roaring out of the recession, like the solo cast that we just did, or the webinar that we're launching here soon, which by the time this airs may already be live on our website, how to market your way through the crisis. And we're doing all of that with the whole goal of how can we be even more helpful during this time. So we wanted to get a few of those big chunks, those big meaty resources and access and research and all of that distillation out as soon as we possibly could. So we took a little bit of a pause on video. Now, obviously, we're back because we're wanting to try and slice and dice some of those bigger pieces into smaller bite-sized pieces, which obviously this video is one of those. So within the blog post, if you went to our website and you're viewing this video embedded in the blog post, you'll see a link to the solo cast that I'm talking about, which was part 1 of 2, how to market your way through the crisis. So if you click on that link, you'll go to our Onward Nation podcast. It is the longest podcast that I've ever recorded, longest solo cast I've ever recorded, about 75 minutes, where I went through about 400 pages of research, curated it, distilled it, pulled out the pieces that I thought would be super helpful to you and your team as you create your plan to not only navigate and market your way, yes, market your way through this crisis, but then are there things that you could be doing in order to actually come roaring out of the recession? The answer is yes, and I think that you'll find that helpful. So I do encourage you to take a look at that, or take a listen to that, excuse me, because we put a lot of effort into that to make it as comprehensive intentionally so that you could have everything that you need in order to really sit down and create a plan. Okay, so I want to pull a little nugget out of the solo cast that I want to share with you right now, and that's on the topic of trust. I'm looking at my iPad here because I want to make sure that I get these data points correct. And if you were to just sit down and Google Edelman Trust Report or Edelman Trust Special Report Coronavirus 2020, you'll be able to download this right from Edelman, which is a global PR agency, 6,000 employees in a whole bunch of countries. And over the last 20 years, they've really become known for this report on trust. They collect and report on not only that topic, but just in such a comprehensive way, and have really built a solid thought leadership position and authority around that word. So I want to share a couple of the highlights here, and I would certainly encourage you to go to the Edelman website in order to download the entirety of the report because it is compelling and amazing. So first, it was a 12-market study. They interviewed 12,000 people across 12 different countries. So this is a very, very in-depth and statistically significant report. So here are some of the key findings. 71% of the people that they surveyed, so again, 71% of the 12,000 people, if they perceive that a business is putting profit ahead of people, that's going to really give the business a black eye. They will lose trust in the business forever. That's a direct quote. That's how important trust is right now. That's how critically important trust is. And certainly it's always been important, but that's how important of a spotlight, like laser focus, that COVID-19 has put on trust. There's zero tolerance for poor behavior. So if you're not smart about that from a content strategy perspective, if you're not cognizant of the fact that if there is any time in history that you need to be coming to your audience, being helpful and not selling, being an expert, the trusted advisor, this is the time. More than any other time in human history, this is the time. Okay, so then 84% of respondents, again, 84% of the 12,000, said that they want brand advertising to focus on how brands help people cope with the pandemic-related life challenges. Okay, so this is your opportunity to not play doctor, so please don't misunderstand. I'm not suggesting that overnight you become an infectious disease expert. What I am saying is that how can you champion the distribution of great information, helpful information? How can your business be on the forefront of that? Whether that is through resources for other business owners, whether that's resources for the general public, what can you do to help carry that torch forward? 77% said they want brands to speak about products and services in ways that show they're aware of the crisis and the impact on people's lives, and that there's a deep desire for expertise. So again, this is not about your expertise as it relates to the virus. How can you be to step into those shoes that you rightfully already own? How can you step into those shoes as the trusted expert? Being silent, that's not the way to do it. Sure, we took a step away from video because we were then focusing on bigger pieces of research and meaty pieces of cornerstone content because we felt that that was where we could be the most helpful by getting those out first. So we reprioritized based on the amount of capacity that we have. And now we've taken and sliced and diced it here onto video and into our blog to make it even that much more consumable, and then linking it back to the 75-minute solocast. So how can you do similar things? How can you think about your content strategy and sharing your expertise as a thought leader to double down on that authority position? Okay, so let's take that a little bit further. 85% of respondents, again, 85% of the 12,000 respondents want you to be an educator. They want you to be an educator, somebody who's influential, offering your audience instructional information. 85%, that's quite significant. Okay, so a few other data points that I want to share with you. And actually, this is more of a, I shouldn't say data points, this is more qualitative as opposed to quantitative, what I just shared with you. And this is about how trust at its core is going to be critically important for the new world going forward. I say new world going forward because nobody knows exactly how the world is going to change over the coming weeks, months, years, and what the short-term and long-term impact of COVID-19 is going to be. One thing is for certain, though, is behavior is probably going to permanently change, meaning that trust is going to become not just short-term important, but important throughout whatever we can predict going forward, right? And it seems reasonable to assume that, but business owners that act in their interest of their employees, clients, prospects, and other stakeholders will reinforce their expertise, leadership, and trust, and immeasurably strengthen those bonds. So this report, not only is it a great encapsulation of data and important findings after having conversations with 12,000 people, of course it is. But this is not just business strategy, but content strategy about how you can be super helpful to your audience in a time of critical need. So I would highly encourage you we will include a link to, so if you're watching this video and it's within our blog, we will include a link to the special report on the Edelman website where you can download it directly. It's free. It's awesome. I highly encourage you and your team to study it. But if you're not watching this on our blog and you're watching it on YouTube, we'll probably include it in the description there too. But you can just as easily Google Edelman Trust 2020 Special Coronavirus Report and you'll find it there too. So download it. It's free. The Edelman website, it is awesome. You'll be glad that you did. It's extremely informative. So I look forward to seeing you back next week. I certainly would appreciate any feedback, comments in the comment fields below. If you're watching this on YouTube, please subscribe to our channel. I look forward to your feedback. I look forward to seeing you back next week. Until then, onward with gusto.